What's up, guys? I've got another Razer Edge Pro video for you to check out. Today we're going to be checking out the best settings for the PS2 emulator in case you have a system like mine, in terms of like having a laptop that's equivalently as strong as the Razer Edge Pro, or you just have a Razer Edge Pro and you just want to see what the best settings are for this. So let me get right to it because I'm in a rush. First of all, you want to run everything in DirectX 9. That's pretty much the base DirectX, Direct 3D that you want to use for the Razer Edge Pro and to play PS2. To get it to run in 1080p and 60 frames per second, just follow my settings. Make sure everything is disabled, except enable H&W hacks, which we'll get back to in a second. Make sure this is 1920 by 1080p in order to get that 1080p resolution internal, and have everything on aggressive speed hack. Okay, and then let's go to enable H&W hack so I can see and show you why I have it enabled. Align sprite. So you just want to check that, and that's it. The reason why you want to check that is because you're going to run into games that have lines in it going through it like this, and that's if you're running it in when it's not in native resolution. Certain games like Resident Evil, Dead Aim, and what else? Some Tekken games do that. When you enable Align Sprite, it pretty much disables those lines. Now, everything should run good on Director 3D 9 using those settings. Let's go to the core settings so I can show you. So you don't have to touch nothing here or nothing there. Those are settings I don't use. Nothing here either. So you want to make sure this is running in standard VSync. Okay, and I always default to the full screen. You don't have to do that. These are optional settings, but I do VSync on it so I don't get lines. And this is very important. You want to make sure that this is on -1. Okay. Don't go any lower or any higher. Lower messes up the videos and stuff, and everything's flickering and it has issues with most games. This has been good for me, and any higher pretty much locks things into 30 frames per second. That's been my experience. And then let's get to this. Everything's checked here, you're going to notice, and that's on 0. The only thing that's not checked is enable fast CD DVD or CDVD. Yeah, definitely leave that disabled because I've had a lot of problems with that. And MTVU is very particular. Most games it'll run fine, but if you see a game that crashes at the very beginning, such as a similar issue I have with 10,000 bullets. 10,000 bullets cannot run with this, so you would just disable this in order to run that. Actually, I have a little text file here that'll explain that here on the desktop. Yeah, so I made a little text file here so I can remember in case I have to go back to it. That 10,000 bullets requires you to disable MTVU. Dark Watch requires you to disable widescreen patch, and widescreen patch you're gonna see. We'll get to that in a minute. So yeah, just do that for the base stuff, and then make sure you have enabled manual game fixes and EE timing hack and simulate V1 F1. Okay, that's it for here. Now, what you want to, what I meant by widescreen patches. So Dark Watch, for whatever reason, will crash at the very beginning, specifically if you have widescreen patch on. So you want to disable that and enable automatic game fixes. You can enable them both generally, but if you see a crash at the beginning, it's generally the widescreen patch that's causing the system to crash. I mean, not the system, but the PS2 emulator to crash, and it won't tell you why. So that's generally why. So if it crashes, disable widescreen patch, load it up again, the game again. If it crashes at the very beginning again, then it's not widescreen patch. You can go ahead and enable it again, and then disable the MTVU that you're gonna find in GS settings under speed hacks. Okay. Those are the two main problematic things that are generally really good, but for some games it glitches and causes problems. That's pretty much it, guys. You don't have to do anything else, and you will be able to run your games with, and we're going to take a look at it again, with the internal resolution at 1920 by 1080p or lower. So some games you can just go to 4 times native or 3 times native or something like that if you still see frames per second drops. But generally speaking, you will have no problems running that. So let's take a look at what's fast and gets the gameplay. Heck, let's take a look at 10,000 bullets and then we'll know. So 10,000 bullets problem was MTU. So let's go to core GS settings. Okay, and let's disable this specifically for 10,000 bullets. Since I have a note there, and this is a good test. And let's load it up. Oh, what the hell? Silent Hill 3. I thought I loaded up. Alright, 1 second. Oh, we could have played Silent Hill 3, but I guess I had the idea of doing that. So this, the beautiful thing about 10,000 bullets is that it has a NTSC to, a PAL to NTSC patch in it at the very beginning. Oh yeah, for some reason this game hangs for a second and then it goes, then it's fine. So 1 second. Make sure that that's on. Yeah, okay. So you can do NTSC from this menu. I recommend if you have a PAL game that's capped at 50 frames per second, use a PAL to NTSC patch and patch the file, and it'll change it to NTSC. When you're finding the game, you'll see that problem. You'll see that with a lot of games that are only released in PAL, like this game. So you can have a smooth 60 frames per second. So this is a movie clip, so this is not really a good example of gameplay. But since I have a few minutes, let's take a look at this guy doing the baddest shit that he generally does. Like dodging bullets while not running sideways. Anyway, let's get to some gameplay.
My first memory was of blood flowing.
You and your memories of blood flowing. You bastard. This is why we can't have nice things. His first memory is blood flowing. Anyway, I just want to get to some gameplay, so hopefully, I don't remember if this goes straight to gameplay. Apparently there's some movie clips with no voices. But I really didn't want to do a game video. I just wanted to do like a tutorial. But I want to show you guys that it's working, basically.
You ready, Crow? Yeah.
And it looked really good because it's in 1080p and the widescreen patch is on. So it doesn't look stretched out either. You'll see what I mean. But this will work great for nearly every game in 1080p. And if you have any problems, then you can always turn down the resolution. Skip tutorial, yes. Oh, don't tell me another movie clip. Damn, I should have took the tutorial so I could show you guys gameplay. Skip, skip, skip. Skippity skip. Free battle. Don't give me no more movie clips. We trying to play a game. Hello. I don't remember the controls, so I'm more likely gonna die. And plus, I'm looking at the camera. I'm not looking at the actual screen. Trying to make sure this is aligned correctly to the camera. Yeah, this is gonna be my last video for now. I'm sorry, guys. I was in a rush to get some kind of videos out. Alright, anyway, if you look closely, you'll see it looks like 1080p and everything. So, okay, well, I guess this game is a little bit slow. It wasn't slow when I was testing it out before. Oh, damn. What is this, on the hardest difficulty? Anyway, so since it's at 80%, then this is one of those games you don't want to play in 1080p, which is not really good for the test. So maybe 3 times native. I didn't know it wasn't going to run correctly. It still says 80 something. Let's try it again. but generally games run in 60 frames per second. It started off 60 frames and then it slowed down. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna run in 60 frames because I guess there's too much going on. But trust me when I tell you, generally speaking, 60 frames per second is the norm. It's not good for the tutorial. Oh, you can't pause it? Okay. So for this particular game, let's see what the best resolution is. Probably going to be just 2 times, I guess. Oh, you know what might be the problem too? It might be that. So you know what? Don't enable, this is the last part of the tutorial. Don't enable this hack unless you have those lines in your game. That probably is what's causing it. It's the only difference from the last time I played it. Still sounds slow though. This was 2 times native. I guess I should have tried out this game first. But trust me, before I did this tutorial video, I tested out a bunch of games and they ran perfectly in 1080p. I don't know why this game is telling me lies today. But anyway.
Let's play.
So I'll just go ahead and say that the majority of these games will run on time. Why is this like the hardest thing in the world? People walking around with shotguns and I got pistols. What's going on here? Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Just go ahead and do those settings and you can mess around with the resolutions per game. Yeah. Until next time. Thanks.